All right, give it just a minute or two before we get everybody going here. Haven't been on in quite some time, so this is a nice return to things at the end of March. Haven't been on for about a month, unfortunately, because of the fact that we've had some difficulties with audio and also with video, and unfortunately we haven't had a chance to get everything fixed. So as of right now, hoping that we are coming through on the audio at this point in time, and also again for the rest of everything going on. So for tonight and into tomorrow, again, things are pretty quiet. Let's see, we've got more audio going there. That's good news. And give me 2 seconds here to make certain that we are live on YouTube and that we can go ahead and get going. Again, apologies for the problems that we've had lately. We've tried to get on, but unfortunately we've had issues taking place with, again, more potential of audio foul-ups than anything else. So for right now, this is about as good as it gets. But so far, the good news is, again, that we've got little, if anything, in the way of major problems for the immediate future. We've got some fairly quiet conditions for right now, again, across much of the region for the next couple of days. But unfortunately, as we get into and around Sunday, that is where we may see the potential of some more problems coming up where it comes to severe weather. So if you have any potential outdoor activities taking place, something to take a look at there, and we'll help you get prepared for that coming up here in just a little bit. All right, we are good to go on Twitch and YouTube. If you're on here, welcome to the show. Say hi, drop some comments into the stream chat, and let's see what everybody's thinking for tonight. And if you have any questions, again, please drop them into the comments section, and glad to have you along for the trip. This is Weather Overtime. This is our online video weather blog, giving you an idea as to what's going on. We do see the potential of some stronger weather coming up in the next couple of days. We'll talk more about that here in just a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and get started and show you a little bit more about what's going on around the entire area here first. See if this is working, and if it's not, we may be in trouble. Okay, we are behind for the month and for the year. Not by much, about maybe a quarter of an inch here and there, but we also, again, for the month, about 2 inches behind for the year, so we could definitely use some more rain to kind of make up for the fact that we're quite dry. Not exactly drought status, but definitely not seeing any overabundance of moisture anytime soon, and we could definitely use some more there. 71 was our high, 67 is our normal. Came within 13 degrees of a record high that hasn't been broken since 1910, and a record low that hasn't been broken since 1894. So that's some pretty chill amounts of record low temperatures. 19 degrees, set back about 5 years before my grandfather was born. So that's been a day or two there. Heading off to the classroom in the morning, it is going to be rather brisk with temperatures back in the lower to mid 40s and then mid 70s by the time everybody heads on home for the day. So looking pretty quiet. And again, decently dry for the next couple of days, so not seeing any major problems here. Temperatures at the 10 o'clock hour Eastern time, or at least very close to that, coming up on 10 before 10. 50s out across much of the area, a few 60s into Alabama and Georgia. If you're just tuning in for the first time, this is the News 12 viewing area. Western North Carolina, northwest Georgia, northeast Alabama, and back into and around southeastern Tennessee, with Chattanooga right in the middle there. Temperatures, again, quite pleasant, a little bit on the cool side for this evening, but otherwise not bad. Warmer conditions heading our way from out of the southwest. And we've got, again, those temperatures on the rise into the next couple of days. High pressure has been doing a very good job of keeping things calm and dry. Some clouds to the north, dying storm system across the Gulf of Mexico down to the south of us, and we'll continue again to see the potential for less in the way of clouds and more dry conditions into the course of the next couple of days. And that, again, is not exactly good news where it comes to anything in the way of major amounts of precipitation. Now, what we do have at this time again, is a special weather statement from the National Weather Service in Peachtree City, Georgia. This is an area which could, again, be looking at the potential of some more problems coming up. Elevated fire danger across much of the region as we go into Thursday during the afternoon and evening hours, again, especially for this area of the News 12 viewing area in northwest Georgia. Low relative humidities, fairly breezy winds. That's very good news to be able to see a wildfire catch and spread very quickly. So all of northern Georgia and back into the Carolinas, that is where we're going to be seeing the worst potential of wildfire spread. It's a very good possibility that we'll see another area of red flag fire alert being issued, and that is something we are going to have to watch very carefully. Outdoor burning at this time is not recommended, so something again to watch out for if you have any plans for doing anything outdoors. We do have, again, some fairly quiet conditions, as, again, we saw that area of high pressure keeping things very much on the quiet side for now. But into the next couple of days, we are going to be seeing, again, the potential for high pressure to move out of the picture and then head on over to the east of us. High pressure also in control well back over parts of the Rockies and the Front Range. And then we've got this next system sitting across the Pacific Northwest. This is our next weather maker that's going to be crossing the Rockies and heading across the Plain States. This has got already a decent amount of energy, so as it crosses the Rockies, heads into the Plain States, that is where we're going to continue to see the potential for maybe some stronger weather heading our direction as we go into Sunday night and Monday. This has still got half of a continent to go across, so that will give us the potential of our next storm system energy coming on through. Now, for Saturday, excuse me, nothing going on. Some rainfall chances, yes, but severe weather threat looks like it's going to be kept until about Sunday night late. What we're seeing is the potential for stronger weather well back off to the west of us early Sunday morning from the Oklahoma area, going across the Mississippi and heading our direction into the late Sunday, early morning hours of Monday. Now, what are we looking at for hail, damaging winds, tornadoes, stuff like that? This is a generic severe weather threat. Again, it's on the lower end according to what the Storm Prediction Center is saying. Days 4 through 8. If Wednesday is day 1, Thursday's day 2, and Friday's day 3 of the forecast from the Storm Prediction Center, this falls in category in the days 4 through 8. That's farther down the line. What does that mean? It means that in days 4 through 8, farther on down into the forecast, we don't have the ability to give you the very close-up idea as to what may be heading our direction, again, when it comes to the categories of severe weather. This is a very kind of unfocused, generic potential of severe weather. So does that mean we should not be paying attention? Absolutely not. This is something that we really do need to be weather aware about as this threat of severe weather gets closer to us. Again, late Sunday, early Monday morning is when we see that best potential. This is something like about 2 to 3 weekends in a row we have had the potential for some severe weather moving on through, and that is why we need to be watching this with a lot of interest. So if you have plans from, say, late afternoon Sunday into very early Monday morning, that is where we see that potential of severe weather coming up. Now, tomorrow we'll be able to give you Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's when we get within that 1 to 3 day range, and that is where we'll be able to kind of focus in on timing and how intense this system is going to be. Now, this has been around since about Sunday into Monday of this past week. When you have a severe threat issue this far ahead of time, this means that you really do need to pay attention to what's going on. And that's what we've been doing, and that's what we're going to help you do. Make certain you stay weather aware. You can't just check in with the forecast from, say, Sunday and assume it to be the same by the next Saturday. You really have to pay attention all the way in between that forecast. Again, we don't have a ton of information for right now, but we do see that potential of stronger weather coming on through, and that is why we need to be again, on top of this. We'll keep an eye on this into the weekend and beyond, so please keep it tuned to News 12. We'll help you, again, give you an idea as to what may be heading our direction out across portions of the area. So for right now, things are, again, decently quiet and should be, again, hopefully staying that way. Taking a look outdoors from Island Cove, quiet and dry, no sign of any major amounts of concerns. Here, hardly any cloud cover either, back off to the west on this scan, looking over Lake Chickamauga. Downtown Chattanooga, looking off toward Lookout Mountain in the distance and off toward Raccoon Mountain out there someplace. Lookout Mountain close up, and again, right at the crest. Beautiful sunset tonight. Ruby Falls seen over on the right-hand side of the screen from the Patriot Concrete camera. All of these cameras available on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network. Again, thanks to EPB for that. Traffic moving at 2475, decently quiet. And again, into the rest of the forecast tonight, should not be seeing a major amount of concern. Temperatures at the airports back into the mid to upper 50s, so decently comfortable for right now. And again, throughout the rest of the evening, should not be looking at anything really concerning for tonight. That, again, may be changing as we go into tomorrow morning. So for right now, heading the pupper out for, again, a walk around the block into tomorrow morning. Going to be on the cool-ish side. Temperatures definitely warrant a jacket or a coat. Thanks a lot to News 12 viewer Anita Underwood from Soddy Daisy for a view of Pupper Siren, taking in her first snowfall out there, a bit on the confused side. Dog walking forecast, Pupper pictures, please send them in to us at wdef.com/dogwalk if you've got them. And if you're a business out there looking to advertise and want the space up here, contact our sales department at wdef.com/advertise. We'd love to have your business. Go ahead and send in your requests and haggle something out with our sales department for more on that. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. And again, throughout the next couple of days, decently quiet and dry. And then as we go into the end of the week, this is where things really start to change on Sunday afternoon and evening. There's also, again, a couple of events coming up. April Fool's Day next week, Tuesday. The rain will be stopping hopefully by then for a little bit. Very mild temperatures over the next several days. Temperatures pushing 80 degrees here and there. Earth Hour that's coming up on Saturday night at 8:30 local time. What that is your opportunity to practice energy conservation. Go around your house, go around your business, and turn off appliances and lights that you don't need for 1 hour. You just practice doing that and learning more about the energy that we waste as Americans and all around the planet, and how we can conserve energy, conserve natural resources, and save money by turning off that energy that we don't need. Americans, unfortunately, have a pretty good habit of being able to walk into a room, leave the lights burning just because we can, and then we waste that much more energy and natural resources keeping those lights burning. If we learn how to conserve energy, and this is not just for the home, this is for businesses and organizations and all sorts of other places. Here at News 12, that again is a big concern too. So we need to be able to practice turning off what we don't need into the overnight hours that could really save a lot of cash in the long run. And again, for Sunday night into Monday, that is where we're looking at that potential for severe weather. That is something that really does need to be watched. So keep it tuned to News 12, and again, we'll keep you updated on what that potential looks like. Again, I think this is going to be a late Sunday, early Monday type situation, and that is where we really need to pay attention to everything going on here, because we could see a lot of different modes of severe weather coming up. Again, it looks like that's going to last until about early Tuesday morning possibly, and then picking up more rainfall chances coming up again on Wednesday. So that is where we see the potential worst of the worst situation coming our way. We'll keep you updated on that again through the weekend, so keep it tuned to News 12, and we'll let you know more about what we're going to be looking at for there. All right, we did this for a few days because we wanted to give people more of an opportunity to talk about this situation. This is a really cool thing to think about. It's kind of scary in some ways when you think about it from the idea of being able to say, I don't want to think about things that can go wrong. I don't want to think about emergencies or disasters, but it pays to look ahead at what's going on. Long-term thinking is what we need in City Hall, in the halls of Congress, in business board meetings type situations. And asking this question is very important to make certain that, again, in case of a major disaster, whether it's severe weather, an earthquake, some sort of toxic spill, a nuclear meltdown nearby, God forbid another terrorist attack, anything like that, if communications are disrupted locally and you can't get a hold of your family members or your friends in a local manner, do you have an out-of-town contact point? Mine is my father-in-law back in Knoxville. If anybody can't get a hold of anybody else, then we will check in with him, and then he can let everybody else know, yes, he's fine, yes, she's okay, haven't heard from him or her yet. That, again, is one of the best things you can do when it comes to dire emergencies, to make certain that if communications are a problem, then you at least, if you can contact somebody out of town, at least you have that much more control over a situation. We left this poll up through the weekend and into the middle part of the week, and this is, again, some good news here to be able to see this, that the majority of people who voted, again, do have an out-of-town contact point, so very good news to be able to see that on there. The numbers fluctuated, as you might expect, throughout the course of the week that we had this up. So thanks to everybody for voting. We'll have a new poll coming up tonight at midnight. So thanks to everybody for, again, voting in our Belltone weather question poll of the day. Now, we do have, I say we as a planet have a partial solar eclipse coming up this Saturday, March the 29th. But unfortunately, as the sun rises over the eastern horizon, over toward the Atlantic Ocean, yes, there is going to be where the eclipse, a partial eclipse, where just a little bit of the moon covers a little bit of the sun. That'll happen right at sunrise, but as the eclipse goes on, as the moon and the sun rise, the moon will pass beyond the sun. So East Coast, Maine, St. Lawrence Seaway, Southeast Canada, great chance, hopefully clear skies there, 100% chance of seeing this view coming up over the horizon at sunrise. For us in the United States, anything, say, west of the D.C. Beltway, we will not be able to see this because, again, by the time the sun and the moon rise, by the time the sun gets up over the horizon for us, the moon will have moved out of the picture and we will not be able to see the eclipse. Now, hopefully we'll get some good pictures of this on social media. We'll bring you those, hopefully, again, on Saturday night, but unfortunately we will not be able to catch this part of the eclipse. It'd be nice, but not going to be happening this time around. So really neat, again, to be able to see that. Let me see if I thought I included the next astronomical session. Yes, I did. Okay, coming up this Sunday, right about the time those thunderstorms are expected to roll through, the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, the Clarence T. Jones Observatory, will be holding their next star party this Sunday, the 30th, starting at 7 o'clock. Doors open at 6:30 at the UTC Jones Observatory. That's at 10 North Tuxedo Avenue in Chattanooga. Topic for the lecture this time around will be gravitational waves, ripples in the fabric of space-time. And that'll be taught by Bachelor of Science in Physics, Laney, hope I'm saying that right, Chastain. Again, that'll be this Sunday, March the 30th, starting at 6. Doors open at 6:30. Program goes from 7 until 9. If there are clear skies, the observatory will be open for observing, but unfortunately, I think it's going to be cloudy and rainy and stormy possibly. So great opportunity for a lecture. Not great news for stargazing. I wish there was, but that doesn't seem to be happening for this time around. Want to bring you up to date on a couple of things weather-wise from the National Weather Service in Nashville. Their Weather 101 weather webinar course is back for the spring semester. These are just a few of the next upcoming topics. There are plenty more over the next several days and weeks. If you wanted to know more about meteorology, if you wanted to know more about weather, various topics coming up over the course of the next several weeks, and the one for, again, this Thursday, that's tomorrow or today if you're viewing it after midnight, this web blog here, March 27th, 7 p.m. You can tune in for the webinar at weather.gov/OHX. That's the National Weather Service website directly. Again, you have to register. It's totally free. If you want to ask questions, you have to be able to have a microphone and speakers to hear. But otherwise, a really great opportunity to learn more about weather in general. And once again, there are a number of topics coming up. Artificial intelligence in the Storm Prediction Center's forecast outlooks, three-dimensional observations, the North American monsoon season, severe storms, and upper air soundings. And there are about another dozen of them after this around April the 8th. These go all the way into May. So there are plenty of topics coming up. A great opportunity to learn more about what's going on with weather. We also want to let you know about a couple of events. Now, this was going to be an event. Unfortunately, it had to be canceled. We don't know why, but the National Weather Service was going to be holding a Skywarn spotter course in Marion County tomorrow, Thursday, March 27th, 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Again, this had to be canceled at the Austen building in Jasper, Tennessee. Will this be rescheduled? Don't have any word on that. If it is, we'll bring that information to you so you can know about that. The good news for our viewers in and around DeKalb and Jackson counties, that's northeast corner of Alabama, this was canceled back in around late January, but it has been rescheduled for this Thursday, taught by the National Weather Service in Huntsville. If you'd like to know more, you can head to their website, weather.gov/HUN. This will be held again tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central, Northeast Alabama Community College. I believe that's building and room MT119. That's in Rainsville, Alabama, 138 Alabama Highway 35. And again, you can register. If you would, please, it's totally free. As long as the National Weather Service knows about how many people are going to show up, that's why you have to register, just to be neighborly, kind, and concerned, to say, yes, I'd love to attend instead of just showing up. So if you care to be a good neighbor, please register for your seat at weather.gov/HUN. Again, that is going to be Thursday night, this Thursday, tomorrow, March 27th, 6 p.m. Central. Another event is coming up on Friday, this Friday, from 10 a.m. to noon at College and Career Academy. This is going to be taught by the National Weather Service in Peachtree City, Georgia. This is down around Atlanta. And again, this will be held in Catoosa Circle 30736. This is going to be in Ringgold, Georgia, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Again, to register for this, you can go to their website at weather.gov/FFC. That's the National Weather Service in Peachtree City, Georgia's website. Again, please register for this. And those are the meetings that will be coming up in the course of the near future. Now, again, if there are any more of them out there, we'd be glad to bring them to you. And we scour the Skywarn training sites to bring you this information so that you can plan around it. Again, you don't have to live in the city, county that this is close to. If it's more convenient to you to take one of these courses and you live outside the area, great. Just please register so that they know that you're going to be coming. And if you can't do that at any of these in-person meetings, the National Weather Service in Morristown, Tennessee, which covers a big chunk of the News 12 viewing area, and this is one more good example of what NOAA does to keep you safe and why these budget cuts, utterly ridiculous and absolutely haphazard, that are going on in Washington with our elected officials in complete and total approval. Why, I don't know, because NOAA helps to save lives. under the National Weather Service, under the National Hurricane Center, and to cut the budget for, indiscriminately cutting the budget for what they call wasteful spending. That is completely and totally tone deaf. That is absolutely the wrong way to go about these things. But if you'd like to know more about what NOAA does and how they keep you safe in the community, take the Skywarn training. If you can't make it to the in-person meetings, you can do it online. Learn the Skywarn course, take the quiz, pass the quiz, register with your local National Weather Service office, and you can help keep your area safe as a Skywarn spotter, and you don't even have to leave your house. That's the nice thing about this. A good opportunity to take the course whenever you want to. weather.gov/MRX, or you can go to our website, scroll down beneath the forecast at wdef.com/weather if you'd like to take the course online. Again, this is a great example of what NOAA does, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration does to keep you safe and to help keep the entire United States safe by offering courses like this. This is a genius idea. And again, for anyone to come along and start cutting out chunks of the National Weather Service and National Hurricane Center because you think that they talk too much about climate change, you're really cutting off your nose to spite your face if you're taking that project's attitude. This is a very good example of what NOAA does. Yes, NOAA takes a look at climate change. That's part of what we as humans are doing to our planet, and I'll probably get deported to a South American prison for saying that at some point in time, sadly, but unfortunately that is the scientific truth. That is what is going on, and we need to study that for what kind of damage we are doing to our planet. And I say that unabashedly and unapologetically because that is, again, what is going on with our planet, and what we need to watch is all about climate change, and this is part of what NOAA does to help keep you safe, whether on the local level talking about Skywarn or whether on a global level talking about human-induced climate change. Again, this is something that is very, very important to both me and everybody watching this and everybody else on the planet. So something to consider on this. This is something that is, again, very important to make certain that our elected leaders know how important scientific study is and why science and looking down the road and planning out for what may happen is so important. Short-range thinking is something that can get everybody hurt and or worse if we don't plan ahead for the worst potential of what could happen down the line. This is one good example. Studying climate change is one good example. So find out more before you get too far behind those, again, irresponsible and totally haphazard project, whatever the number is, budget cuts. Look at what NOAA does. Look at what they really do and how they help the community, and how we are worse off when the National Weather Service just gets sliced to ribbons when, again, we don't consider the long-term implications of what climate change and what we are doing causing climate change to our planet. So please consider that out there. All right, that should do it, I think, for tonight. We've taken care, well, let's do a couple more things here. Thanks a lot to News 12 viewer Jessica Downs from Athens for a beautiful view of a cardinal, a female cardinal, back in the snow-covered branches from around the Athens area. That's our Wednesday Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. And if you've got pictures, we'd love to see them. Send them in to us again at pictures@wdef.com. You can drop them to our social media pages. You can go to Weather Window headquarters at wdef.com/photos, and yours could be the next Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. And thanks to everybody for sending in some wonderful pictures over the course of the last few days and weeks and months, for that matter. Once again, severe weather could be a big problem again this weekend. We're going to have to watch this with a lot of interest, so keep it tuned to News 12, and we'll keep you advised as to what we may be looking at here. Very important to stay weather aware. Please make certain, again, that you are keeping an eye on what's going on with the weather as we head into this weekend. What else am I forgetting? Let me see. We did the dog walk forecast. We did the school forecast. Heading out on the golf course tomorrow, it is going to be a trifle breezy, but otherwise warmer with those southerly winds and lots of sunshine out there. That is going to be a concern if you're going to be outdoors for anything. UV index will be rather on the high side, so definitely want to remember the sunblock, and definitely warmer, occasionally breezy, but not bad for outdoor activities. Again, into this weekend, that is where we may be seeing the more problematic amounts of weather heading on through, and that will be staying on the mild side for the course of the next several days. All right, I think that's going to do it for tonight. So again, thanks to everybody for tuning in and keeping an eye as to what's going on with the weather. Fairly quiet again for tonight and into Friday, Thursday and Friday for that matter, but definitely bears watching into the next several days, so keep it tuned to News 12 for more. Again, you can find out more at our website, wdef.com/weather, and you can also stay tuned for more. I'll have details coming up tonight on News 12 at 11. Tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, the NCAA basketball tournament will be continuing, so we will not have a 7 o'clock newscast. We will be on for everything else, so keep it tuned again to News 12 for more on the situation there. And again, we'll keep you advised into the weekend, but definitely a time to make certain that you are weather aware. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Chip Chapman will have your forecast bright and early on Thursday morning starting at 5 a.m., so stay tuned for that. And of course, don't forget to find out more at our website, wdef.com/weather, which is where you can also see our weather overtime video blog, and you can catch it through our News 12 WDEF weather app if you'd like to download that to your smartphone or tablet or other device, and you can see what's going on there. Thanks for joining us for Peak of the Week Wednesday. We'll have more for you coming up again tonight on News 12 at 11. Chip's got the morning show, and throughout the rest of the week. Stay tuned for more with News 12 on air and online, and thanks for joining us for Wednesday's edition of Weather Overtime.